In this last lesson before the exercises, we're going to look at two other aspects of defining methods. In the first example, we're going to demonstrate how to create methods that are supplied a variable length list of arguments. So for example, a method may take 2 arguments or 22 arguments. The second example is going to demonstrate how to create what are called default arguments, where a value is supplied if the argument is left out of the method call. So let's start a new program and take a look at these two techniques. Let's look at variable arguments first, or variable number of arguments. Imagine we have a method called sum, that we want to be able to sum any given list of numbers. So it could be 2 numbers, or it could be 10 numbers, or just as many numbers as we want. The way we do that is that for the parameter, we write star and then the name of our argument list, which is going to be treated as an array. So that once we have the name, then we can treat it just like it's an array. So we can use a for in loop, and then we can just return the total, like so. So no matter how many arguments we provide, our for in loop is going to work through those arguments one at a time, because they're stored in an array, take each one, add it to the total, and then when we're finished, we'll return the total. So let's take a look at that program. First, we need to write a program. So we'll say print sum 1, 2. And then let's try it again with, let's just go all 10, like so. So let's save our program, and we'll run it. So the first example gave us 1 and 2, the sum is 3. And the second example gave us 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the sum of the first 10 integers is 55. So you see how that works. Now the next example will demonstrate how to use default arguments. For example, let's say we're going to define an argument where we're going to pass in a principal amount, the number of years, and a rate, and return how much the principal has grown over X number of years given a particular rate. So our arguments will be the principal, the years, and then the rate. If, let's say, we decide that a default rate is 1.01, then we can make that a default in the parameter list by using the assignment operator and the value that we want, so that when the argument is left off, then it will simply use the 1.01. So let's finish the definition of the method. We'll comment out the old code, and then let's try it a couple of times. So we'll say $1,000 for 10 years at 1.02%. And then we'll write print growth 1,010. And this time we'll leave off the third argument. So when that happens, the system will automatically supply the 1.01 to perform the computation. So let's see what happens. So we get 2 different values, quite a bit of precision there, as you can see. But 1218.99, or almost 1219 at 2%, and then 1104.62 when we compute the function with 1.01%. So in this lesson, we've seen 2 ways to modify how arguments are passed into methods, either by using a variable argument list, which essentially stores the arguments in an array, or by using a default argument, so that when the argument is left out of the function call, the system will supply the default value. So that wraps up this lesson on these method alternatives, and now we're ready to move to the exercises for the chapter.